right. Well, you just had a really interesting interview with Dalvin, Mr. Dalvin of Jodeci, and he shared some breaking news with with us. Uh, do you care to
Yeah,
enlighten us
yeah.
on that experience?
And I do have to thank his team who I mean, if the three times we were scheduled to interview, and three times just probably within an hour or 30 minutes, things had to change. So, and if you notice the interview, he was in the studio still recording. So it wasn't that it wasn't like he normally does his interviews at home, but he was in the studio doing some final mixing, and then he had time to schedule the interview. So, um, I think at the time, I didn't think of how momentous that was to have a member of Jodeci, because throughout the 90s, there were two sort of factions of R&B factions. There were the Jodeci and there was the
Mm-hmm.
Boys to Men.
Wait a
So
minute.
after Boys to Men, you had the Aziettes, you had maybe after Seven, you had All for One. You had groups Shy who sang in that sort of with their harmonies and how their vocal harmonies. Then you had Jodeci inspired groups like Drew Hill, Jagged Edge, Blackstreet, um, whether it's rough ends or intro stuff. So you could see
Right.
how pivotal Jodeci were, especially with their songwriting and stuff. So to
It
get
would be cool to do like a family tree of like a branch to
yeah.
show the influence of both groups, who's connected, who has the just an
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. Well, I mean, but to actually get him, and unfortunately for me, is that because third after the fourth time, it was like the time. I mean, I was 6 a.m. here in the UK that I had to get, and I didn't get back from the funeral until late the night before. So but I was just like, let's just go with the flow and stuff. But it was good to ask him questions that he doesn't normally get asked.
Hmm.
I didn't realize how
Yeah.
much of a Bobby Brown fan he was. How much he
Mm,
said he had his own heart and soul dancers, and I didn't realize he wasn't part of Jodeci. um that it was
right.
named after the three of them. And so if in fact if you listen to a harmony that they did when they were on Video Soul, they sing Jojo, Kate, Dalvin, Casey, and then he then says, and Mr.
And
Dalvin.
Mr.
They
Marvin,
almost
right.
like how they Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mouth, Ralph, and Johnny too. They had to sort of like, oh yeah, don't forget Dalvin. But I don't
Right.
know from your watching, what was it's different from me. I'm in the mix of it, but from you, what?
You know, I am. When I saw it, I was excited for you because I know it was like a couple of hiccups where it was postponed or something. And
Yeah,
so when it came to fruition and I got a chance to watch it, I was happy for him too, because a lot of times when you see groups, there are always the lead singers or the people that draw your focal point, but then there are also the members that are also in the group that may bring something to the group, but you as a viewer or listener may not quite know. And I think that he articulated himself very well, and he kind of pointed out some of the things, like you said, he originally wasn't a part of the group, but he brought a certain when he was in a group, he was kind of, from what I was getting, he was influential on their style and their swagger and things like that. And because he had a rougher edge. And
yeah,
um, also, he did do a lot of production, and he did have a lot of hip hop elements. When you go back and check out the songs he actually did produce, he had a
yeah,
lot of hip hop elements to his um, tracks that he produced for Jodeci. So when hear his account of the experience he had was really refreshing to have his take. And like when you asked him about the whole, or you brought up how Teddy felt like they were giving him a run. Jodeci were giving Guy at the time a run for their money, and maybe they should kind of focus on other things or changing their sound. I thought that was a really good question, and he responded really really well to it. And his response to some of the questions, because a lot of people like myself were wondering, well, why you guys haven't put out an album? What's going on?
Yeah.
And he articulated that, and it's very true. There are so many different moving parts when you're dealing with a brand such as Jodeci.
Yeah.
It's not just like an a one hit wonder or somebody that just kind of came out, and they have a legacy of hits, and there's a lot of people behind the scenes that have to make it happen. There may be legal stuff you got to step over. People have families. It's a lot of different things that goes into it. So I liked his response to that. So it was good to hear his account, and I was happy to see him standing on his own 2 feet and doing his own thing. Because a lot of times, like this the old saying, one monkey don't stop a show, or in this case, group of monkeys. I don't know, but I don't want to compare them to monkeys. That's not the
No, no.
point. But the point is, okay,
Yeah.
you guys are having trouble getting together. I can produce, I can sing, and I'm glad he's getting a chance to kind of show us his voice, show us what he can do. And I like some of the songs he's put out. I think being a solo artist is um, giving him a lot of creative freedom and an opportunity to kind of tell share what he has to offer. So I liked it.
Yeah, I mean this will probably, yeah, Friday. It was on Sunday. Well, coming soon is probably the last episode where he talks about his own music and why he puts out music, and
Right.
not for the money, but for the love of just like, yeah, I can put out music. If people like it, they like it. If they don't, that's okay. He's not trying to make, if one goes viral, that's fine, but he's just doing it for the love. So you can see there's a passion behind making music, as opposed to, I need this to sell so I can get a tour.
Right.
He
And see,
doesn't
you
need
have
that.
to remember, he doesn't have, with like Casey and JoJo, they have to compete with what they've already done. There are no expectations for Mr. Dalvin. Like nobody even really knew he could sing.
Yeah,
So he is not the only thing he may be competing with is the Jodeci thing, but I think he's successfully mentally and emotionally kind of resolved that and knows that I can't I am not Jodeci. That's a separate brand. That's
yeah,
a compilation or a conglomerate of other ingredients. But this
hmm,
is my ingredient, and I get a chance to share it. And I just like that he's getting an opportunity to be himself and do his own music. And also, when you listen to his music, you can hear the elements that he did bring
yeah,
to Jodeci, because there are a lot of Jodeci undertones to the vocals and the production that we
mm,
probably didn't realize was probably Mr. Dalvin.
yeah,
And of
yeah,
course, that's Dalvin's brother, so there's some influences there. But
yeah. But did you hear when he said that he when they moved to New York, he was playing basketball, and his brother
yeah,
said, "Look, you're not gonna make money from this. Why don't you study, play in the empty? This is where our livelihood's gonna be." And he said he never forgot that. And it's strange because I don't know how often we hear him talk about his brother as somebody he
mhm,
looks up to, somebody who
right,
inspired him. He said that they wrote "Come and Talk to Me" when they were 15 or 16. He
right.
says some of the songs on the "Forever My Lady" album were done when he was 15, 16, before they joined Jodeci. Did you hear about the one he said that when their parents wanted to give them a whipping, they wrote the song 40 Lashes?
Ah,
He said
yes,
Devontae had some chicken he didn't want to share, and he wrote a song, just let's share. I mean, but it just there's the magic and creativity within the family.
right,
So I was mindful to try and always say, "What about you?" And he wanted to play, football,
right.
and parents stopped him. So, and I think that's what people do like to see, the stuff behind, not just the brand and stuff. But yeah, no,
But see, that's the thing. When you respect the person you're interviewing, and they feel that respect, they open up. You don't have to do any crazy tactics. You just basically, you're a human, they're human. Approach them in that way. And I enjoyed hearing the backstories about the family dynamic and him and his brother, and also the fact that he was. I'm assuming he said he ran away from home.
yeah, he
I
left. Yeah, he
Yeah,
said it's
because
too much. The control is too much.
it's so interesting to learn the story behind what made this person, or the story behind the songs or whatever. And so I like that. Sometimes to me, that can be more interesting than the the sleazy stuff. I want to hear because to me, Dalvin is a human being like anybody else. Devontae, these are, KC, JoJo. We all have ups and downs. We all make mistakes. We all, especially when you're younger, I can't judge somebody on some things that they've done in their past. I want to, not that, I'm not trying to go in that direction. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, some people want to get some dirt. What, and it's not about that. These people have lives. They have emotions, feelings, and experiences that they would also like to share, and it was good that we got a chance to see that side.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad. And yeah, that's just he was. Yeah, I've got to give them thanks, and hopefully, when he's made an official announcement that Jodeci are back, that they're going on a tour. As it stands, he says all four of them are going to go on tour. Jojo lives in LA. I'm not sure where Devontae lives, but Dalvin's mainly in Vegas, and I don't know where Casey is.
Mm.
So it's so it's good that they're going to be out. So we'll follow that up once we get more news and
Well,
stuff.
what you're missing, Dalvin is actually your ticket to Teddy. Let him put a good word in for you. Like, hey, I did an interview. It was cool. It was relaxed. It was chill. We enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you could.
So I mean, as I said, yeah. So I think one of the yeah. I mean, I've got many connections with Ted, and Teddy knows about halftime chat, and he's followed us and stuff. So we just need to keep working, and it will come to pass.
Yeah, I miss that period so much. I would love to have a conversation with Teddy and and hear what he has to say about Ben and all the things from the New Jack era and beyond.
Mm.
Be nice.